Meanwhile, the government is hopeful that diplomatic interventions will succeed in bringing Russia and Ukraine to the negotiating table after prolonged fighting between both countries. Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Shirley Ayokor-Botchwey, who's hosting her counterparts from Benelux countries, says the countries such as Ghana continue to reel under the impact of the war and its global effect. Hence, the need for a quick fix to the regional security challenge. This came up at a news conference organized by her ministry.
Together we also strive to uphold our values not just within our own borders, but clearly also on the global stage. And in the face of the current geopolitical challenges, these values hold ever greater significance to all of us. We recognize and discuss the serious challenges Ghana faces itself, such as the growing instability in the Sahel region, and the potential spillover of violent extremism to coastal West Africa, as the Minister just articulated. And during our recent discussions, we gained a deeper understanding by both of the Ministers of the issues confronting Ghana. In Europe, of course, we are witnessing the grim consequences of Russia's unwarranted and illegal invasion in Ukraine, which has led to a truly devastating war. And I want to express our heartfelt gratitude to Ghana and its people for its unwavering support in the fight against this aggression and its commitment to upholding multilateralism and international law.
We had 4 votes, 4 resolutions in the UN in New York, and every time Ghana was on the right side. So thank you very much for this. And secondly, I want to explain this is not a conventional war where 2 countries are fighting each other. It is an aggression of Russia against Ukraine. And this is very, very difficult from what we saw maybe conventionally if 2 countries are in a war. Here, there are not 2 countries in a war. There is one country that aggressed against all the rules of the UN Charter, a neighboring country called Ukraine. And the fight is not a fight against this country alone. It is a fight from Putin against democracy, against rule of law, against our values, values that we share here in Africa, in Ghana, and also in the European Union. And therefore, we have to do everything possible.
Meanwhile, the government of Ghana is hopeful that the diplomatic interventions will succeed in bringing Russia and Ukraine to the negotiation table after prolonged fighting between both countries. Shirley Ayokor-Botchwey is Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration.
We had very fruitful discussions, acknowledged the long-standing relations between Ghana and the Benelux countries, and we lauded the shared efforts to expand the spheres of cooperation at both the bilateral and also the multilateral fronts. We talked and had discussions on regional security, and we acknowledged the contributions by the Benelux countries to peace and security in the Sahel and the West African sub-region. In this regard, the Minister for National Security and I briefed our guests on the security situation in the region and measures being taken by member states of the Accra Initiative, as well as the level of ECOWAS and AU to address terrorism and violent extremist activities in the sub-region to restore normalcy to the affected countries. The ministers pledged their support to the Accra Initiative in that regard, and the 2 sides also agreed to work together at the multilateral level to address the challenges such as food insecurity, climate change, among others, that confront the world today as a result of COVID-19 and also the Russian-Ukraine war. On the Russian-Ukraine war, we reiterated the condemnation of the invasion of Ukraine by Russia and acknowledged the impact of the war on our economies. We reiterated our unwavering support as a country for Ukraine in line with its commitment to uphold the UN Charter, as well as the respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of UN member states. And we expressed the hope that diplomatic interventions will succeed in bringing the two warring parties to the negotiating table eventually to end the war.